are now in the zone. With Taste Test Live. Hosted by Damien, Lamar, and Blue Franswa.
I have been waiting for this day since the first time I recorded MJ, and the first time I had the privilege of interviewing you. We messed up because I was on a real bad condenser mic, the one that's like, it's kind of like store-bought, one of those store-bought mics that's really not like a really good studio mic like this one. And when MJ would laugh, it peaked, and it compressed the whole file. So I want to publicly apologize to you for not being able to release that exquisite interview.
Oh,
because
it's okay.
And I still have it.
Really?
But it's.
Do you have the part where I'm asking you for the wine?
I do, the very beginning, because I edited it all together and everything. It was ready to go.
It's like
But it was the word was unusable that I was told. And I was like, that broke my heart. So welcome back to Studio 3.
Yay.
We're here in WJCT, and we also want to thank them so much for allowing us to be in their space and to produce this great show here. So Taste Test Live, I am your host, Damien Lamar, and we are here in the studio with
Blue Franswa
and MJbaker.
Yay.
Welcome, MJ.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I just, your energy changed the room. It did, because I was here first. And then she entered, and she's wearing, that is, the color, is it more of like is it a burnt orange? It's like it's a fire orange.
Yeah, it's
fire orange.
It's pretty bright, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's really nice. It complements you. It complements your skin color.
Thank you.
I'm getting a lot of pheromones coming from her tonight. It's quite overwhelming. I don't know if you feel that way, Blue.
Yes, I
do.
do.
Okay. Her pheromones are like, they're all up in my space. So, first of all, again, welcome. And I understand you have an album that you're still celebrating that's been out for quite some time, but a lot of people haven't had the privilege of experiencing what you put out.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, the album is Feel Somethin. It's a year and some months old. And basically, it's all written by me. And the premise of the album was basically everything that I have, have been going through in that season of my life, which I feel like was a discovery of love and discovering self-love, overcoming the fear of loving. And so I just wanted people to feel whatever they wanted to when they were listening to it.
So that's what it means. You wanted them to really feel something.
Right.
Something.
Whatever it was. I didn't want to limit people to, because people title their albums and it limits people, because in this social media age, words are so like, everybody's, fake book and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And people take your words for face value. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to say, feel something. Doesn't matter what it is. And I hope you do feel something.
Yeah,
something when you're
good.
done.
Yeah.
With this project. So.
Well, I did, and I have to say, I think we said on a prior episode, that it's exquisitely produced.
Yeah.
The sound quality is immaculate. It's great. It feels good to your ear, and you get a little bit of everything from poetry to jazz, to R&B, to your bare insecurities just laid out as an artist, and that takes a lot to be vulnerable like that. So, what got you to the point of you being that vulnerable that you allowed you'd share your art with us like that?
I think I was very afraid for so long to express myself. Mm-hmm. And so maybe about 2 years before I actually went into the studio to produce the album, I had been dealing with so many internal personal things, so many things concerning myself. And So right before I decided to do the album, I had like a literal breakthrough of, you're gonna die if you don't do it.
You must.
You must do it. And so when I did it, I just basically prayed and it was like, you know, what do I say here? What do I put here? And the poetry was kind of like last minute.
Really?
It was really, you know, I really feel like that whole organic vibe, you know, when things just kind of grow and they manifest, you don't press it, you know. So I really loved my experience throughout this process of creating this project because, you know, I'm a planner by nature.
Okay.
You know, I like to know what's coming after A. And so this album taught me, okay, just get through A. And then
It's good stuff.
And then ask later, what is B going to be once you're done, you know? So that's what it was. And then the poetry, it just kind of came. And especially Chosen Exposure was, you know, I just felt really bare at that time that I wrote it. And just really felt like, you know what? I don't want to pretend like I'm this cool chick anymore. I don't want to pretend like I got all my stuff together. So why not just share, you know, the insecurities and how I feel?
Yeah. Thank you for doing that. That takes a lot of courage.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you brought a song to the station so we could play it, right?
Yes.
And tell us, want to set it up for us.
So this song is going to be, what song is this?
Whatever you want it to be.
Oh. Well, I guess, you know.
So that pre-planning thing, see?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
She wants to know.
Yeah, I want to know too.
Like, what song is this going to be?
You know what? Let me, not to interrupt you, but you know, with me, it's like a jukebox.
Right.
When you know there's so many good ones, like,
Yeah.
oh my God, do I have to choose one?
Right, yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. So that I have a favorite. So we'll do it this way. We'll talk about it this way. I have a favorite. My favorite is R&R, hands down. Like, I'm that dude
Really?
that you want me to chill out and relax and like you want to rub my feet. Like, I'm that dude. Like, I feel like, yes, do that.
Yeah.
Like rest and relaxation from MJbaker.
Right.
Like if you haven't heard the song, if y'all haven't heard the song, you're doing yourself some injustice. I mean, I've played it on the show, I think twice.
I feel like our brothers get a bad rap. And I just wanted to write a song of appreciation.
That's why I like her album.
Exactly.
I just really wanted
Yeah,
to.
nice.
Even Chosen Exposure is a form of appreciation. You know, even in that, it's the vulnerability of, you know, don't kill me, ladies.
Right.
But, you know, the vulnerability of being a woman and saying, you know, sometimes I am acting crazy because really it's not about you.
Right. You just so happen to be
right.
You're there.
You're just here right now. And really today I thought about my dad, you know, and how he left me. And then that took me in a spiral of thinking, are you going to leave me too?
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And then you walked in the door late. And now I got to.
After you had all these thoughts that
right. It's like
you were going to be left or he wasn't going to show up.
It's like already this tornado, this hurricane of emotions. And here you come, or maybe you said you were going to call and you didn't call, or you know what I'm saying? Or maybe you're hanging out with one of your close female friends and I feel like really vulnerable at that moment. But nobody's ever taught me how to communicate that because I don't even recognize that that's what I'm dealing with.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's just
That's
you know.
that's amazing. That you stated that way.
yeah.
Interesting. So that I feel like we're getting a little bit of an inside track on women. I mean, I'm sure a lot of women don't know how to articulate themselves and express themselves the way you did. Like, you know, it's not you. I'm going through some stuff. But
Right.
I'm taking it out on you. But as a woman in that song, I feel like you're saying, I know you had a rough day. I know you had a hard day. I did too. But let me I got you. Right. Just chill for a minute.
Right.
It's such a great song.
Oh, thank you.
Another song is Feel Something.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll just play that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's play that.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
We're going to, here on Taste Test Live, we have the dubious honor of playing Feel Something by MJbaker.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. I don't want no more instant grits, no more stale hits, bleeding into the air of my environment. It's like a lingering stench, no more surface, I need more substance in my music. I remember when music would touch my soul, and even though I wasn't in church, it made me whole. Now I'm more discouraged than encouraged in my music. Oh, oh. I just wanna feel something. I just wanna feel something. Yeah. Tired of the constant aggravations, those temporary melodic sensations. I want something that sticks to me. Music so deep it motivates and fills me, yeah. Everybody wants to be a star. You fake gangsters and singers, you know who you are. No more following the crowd. We're musical zombies walking around. I just wanna feel something. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh. the feeling was just amazing. I mean, Black Sheep, I mean, oh my gosh, A Tribe Called Quest, and oh my gosh, Sarah Vaughan, and all those amazing music.
That was good. That was real good.
Okay.
What,
thank you.
So what? Give me a little bit of insight on the production. Like, let's talk a bit about that song. Like, take me back to the day when you got it. You like realized that was it's done. Like, I'm happy with this.
Oh man, I you know what? Honestly, with Feel Something, to be honest, I still want to do something else musically with it. Mm-hmm. But the concept of the song was a conversation with E. Don Jackson, formerly of the Cats Downstairs, great guy, great producer, musician. And we had a conversation about music. D'Angelo had just come out with his newest album. And I was talking about the musicality of the album and how much I missed musicality. Mm-hmm. Music. I'm the chick that likes to come home and like chill the instrumentals. Yeah. I prefer no words, to the music. So I'm into that kind of stuff. And I was like, man, I just want something that feels something. I just want to feel something again, And we were talking about that. And so it was like 2:00 in the morning. I went home after the Cypher open mic and started writing. And then I wrote it and got with my really good friend, and he put some music to it, and shout out to Richard Christie for letting me use his music studio, and Paul Laplansky, excuse me.
Yeah, I know Paul. Yeah.
Mr. Paul for doing the mixing and mastering.
He's amazing.
Oh my gosh, he's a genius.
Yeah, listen to the record, guys. You'll hear his work. He's really good. He's done some stuff for me too. Yeah. So yeah,
it was really good. Yeah.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Well, Blue, you've been quiet.
I'm sorry. I'm just in awe.
Yeah, those pheromones, right? Yeah, it's the pheromones.
Yeah. What does that mean? The pheromones? Let's talk about that.
I'm gonna talk about some chemical reactions for a second, right? There's a chemical that the body produces called oxytocin. Right. Oxytocin is this chemical that emits that from a mother to her child. When someone hugs you, oxytocin is released. Right? And it's the same chemical that's applied when you rub your dog, that, like man's best friend, and they're rubbing the dog, and the dog gives off oxytocin, and so do you. And that creates a bonding thing. So oxytocin bonds. Humans have pheromones. We have fragrances that we put on and we adorn ourselves with, and we also have pheromones that are only tangible to certain people. Mm-hmm. Only certain people can detect them. Mm-hmm. I can't say smell because it's a different level of sense. Right. But your pheromones are very intense.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, is that good? Or is that like uptight, intense?
Hell no. It's really good. Maybe it's your aura. I don't know. I don't know how to do aura readings, but I'm a pretty energy sensitive guy, and I pick up on stuff. Yeah, I'm picking up them pheromones, and you're sitting a lot closer to her.
I know, I feel it. But see, my oddness come from when I first met her. She had just started music. Okay, I was at the height of my career, doing shows a lot, traveling and doing stuff in Jacksonville. Yeah, and I asked MJbaker to do a show for me when I was doing House of Soul. And I said, hey, come do a show, how much? And then she was like, she gave me some price. And I said, okay, come on. And then I think on the day of, some things had fell apart. And so she was the person to hold down the whole show. And then I think in the midst of chaos, when it went on, I just said, hey, just do your thing. She started playing her guitar. Everybody got quiet. Everybody started And it began. I was like...
That was the beginning.
I was like, this chick is a genius.
So you know what?
Crowd control. She had crowd control.
Yeah. That was a universal lesson, because sometimes things happen that way so that you had your moment. Yeah. You needed a moment cleared. So a little chaos was created just for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
She remembered that too.
Yeah, I do. Oh, man.
Look what you want me to do. Just play. Just play.
Oh,
the DJ's not here. The band's not ready. Just play. But she played.
So how long was it set?
Oh, it wasn't that long.
It was like maybe 30 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you gave him something to feel. I bet.
Yeah.
See?
It
I think
was dope.
I think you saw a lot of CDs because
I had a mixtape. I mean, I had my mixtape, and then I also had the EP with Il Clinton. Shout out to Il Clinton.
Yeah, shout out to Il.
Yeah.
We've been talking too. He said he was gonna send me something. I'm still waiting.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to remind him. I think he got busy.
He's a musical monk. It's like he only comes out
hibernation.
And
I love that. What is he again?
A musical monk. He's like, he goes in. He's like, he has all of this power. You know what I'm saying? And then he'll come out, check some things out, test the air, see if it's safe, and then you might shoot something out real quick, You're like, okay, this is dope. Can we get some more? Maybe.
Speaking of Il Clinton, one thing I wanted to always be in the studio, especially when he brought Georgia Ann Muldrow.
Oh yeah.
From Stone Throw Records.
Yeah.
When he brought her here and she performed, I wanted to just be with them, man. Like I just wanted to hang.
Yeah.
I missed that. I don't know what I was doing. What was so important that I had to miss throwing some stones?
He's probably working for the man.
Right.
Probably.
Right.
It's all good though. Hopefully that'll come back around.
Yeah.
So, have you ever had a chance to produce any? Has he produced music for you?
Well, when we did our first EP, Reflections in the Room, together in 2012.
Okay.
He wrote and produced the music. I wrote the lyrics. So it was like a partnership. It was
it's
dope.
interesting. I didn't know you then.
Yeah.
But I heard that music and I was wondering, like, who is she? Like, there was some mystique about it. Like, who? I didn't know you.
Yeah. I was pretty quiet.
Like, well, I didn't know you personally. I mean, I knew of you, but I didn't know you like personally like I know you now.
Right, right.
Your earrings are still at my house, by the way. I have a pair of silver earrings that are still, they're like.
Oh, you found them?
No. When she came over to record the episode at my house.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, okay.
Yeah, she left her earrings. And they're still there. And I forgot I could have brought them today. You just have to come back for some more wine.
But you know why? Because with Damien, you're going to get tipsy and you're going to get full. It's like, and you're going to have mad good conversation. So it's like you just forget. I just start taking off jewelry. Yeah. I really do.
You don't miss those earrings, do you?
No, not at all. When I get comfortable, I start twisting my hair and taking my earrings off. That's when you know I'm at home.
Yeah.
If I'm not doing either one of those things, I'm ready to go.
Wow. So if I see you twisting your hair, you're like, okay, she's in the zone now.
Right.
She's ready to go.
I'm ready. Yeah, if I start twisting, I'm good. Yeah.
That's awesome. So there's a couple songs that you decided to bring to the show for air and for play. And I like the premise of being able to allow listeners to taste what you offer and what you're bringing. So can you set up the next song for us?
Okay. Ordinary Love by Sade. So she's another musical monk.
Yeah.
She's like Groundhog Day. It's like, she only comes out every 8 years. And it was like, I just grew up loving her and couldn't believe that this sultry voice was coming out of this little woman. So Ordinary Love is a song that I do in my sets, and it's a song I get lost in myself personally.
Nice.
So I love, Sade, so who doesn't?
Everybody loves Sade.
I know. Who doesn't?
Yeah, I think she was on some soundtrack recently. What was that soundtrack?
The Oprah Winfrey.
Yes, A Wrinkle in Time.
A Wrinkle in Time.
Yeah. Did you hear the track?
She did the theme song.
Did you hear it?
Yes.
Yeah, theme song.
That was her first song in 7 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
She usually comes out every 7 to 8 years.
What did you think? What was your impression, Blue? I mean, MJ, what's your impression of the song?
I loved it. I mean, it was very. This is the thing. Is like she has a signature. I mean, she has a signature vibe. She has a signature even if it's 2018, she still is relevant.
She's Sade.
I mean, I don't know many people who can, artists. I mean, there are a lot of artists who can surpass their, what they say an expiration date is. I don't think she has one.
Wow. That's loaded.
Yeah, I mean,
I agree.
I think, you know what? And I think she is constantly relevant because she doesn't get caught up in the celebrity of it all. Mm-hmm. Like she took a break to be married and raise her child and different things like that. And so I don't think it mattered to her if she made money. It was like, okay, you guys, I'm going to go have a baby. Yeah. Do this, do that. And then the band comes back together and they just make hits, Yeah. And then they go away again and they come back and do it. I mean,
there's a lot of artists and a lot of musicians that actually release records and they feel, and I think I can say this because I feel like I know Erykah Badu. Right. But they've given you so much music and you want, a lot of people are like, when you going to release your next record? When you going to put the next album out? And they're like, I've been giving you, have you listened to my entire, discography? Right. Have you heard it all? Have you really given yourself a chance? Like, okay, I just listen to Baduism or I just listen to one specific record. There is one record, as a matter of fact, it'll be, 20 years old in a few days. The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Oh my gosh. Please.
Really? I put that on. I was cleaning my house this weekend and I put that album on and I'm like, this album is so good. Yeah. From start to finish, like
timeless.
20 years old, man. I have goosebumps right now. Like there's hair standing up right here because the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill is. I remember where I was. Yeah. I was in Reading, Pennsylvania. I used to work for First Union Bank, and I remember going to the record store just to buy the album, and nobody knew why I was going. I'm like, I'm sorry, we got to make a stop. Like, I'll be back. Went to go get the record, got back to the hotel room, and I'm like, I'm in the zone. I had my little CD Walkman. Remember the little round CD Walkman? Man, that album was amazing. So you brought us a track from that album, and to tell us why you like this song.
Well, first of all, I mean, Lauryn Hill is one of the reasons I desired to pick up the guitar, and her music was just so vulnerable. I mean, whether she was, talking about the foolishness in the Fugees or, over loving her man, it's just like, the insanity of that. So this track, Tell Him, is like one of my most favorite because it's about more than just natural love. The love we say, what we say is love, meaning, baby, if you love me, you'll take me on a date, This is this is a sacrificial love. That I love this song because it's saying that even though he's foolish, even though he may be immature right now, the first verse is, let me be patient, let me be kind, make me unselfish, it's in that what I feel like, and that is one of my ringtones because it reminds me, okay, we're not all perfect. You are not perfect. Love beyond yourself right now in this moment, and so that's why I love this song, "Tell Him" by Lauryn Hill.
Okay, so many words about that song. So many words about that album.
Right.
I've always wanted to have somebody to talk with about this particular project, about Lauryn Hill specifically. Let's talk about her for a minute. One of my favorite performances, which now that I've watched it probably a million times, when she recorded MTV Live Unplugged. Right. Have you heard that? Have you seen it? Okay, I have the DVD at my house, so if anybody ain't seen it, you can, if you know how to contact me, contact me. I might set up a listening party where we can listen to Lauryn Hill MTV Unplugged. Right. She at that time was recognizing that she didn't need an entourage, right, just to be able to be an artist. She had 20, 30 people on stage with her, but she was Lauryn Hill. Like, who are all these people? I can understand you having maybe 3 background singers and you may have 5 or 6 instrumentalists behind you to give you that full sound and bring that quality that you gave us on the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. But she wanted to strip back, naked, raw. This is me. By the way, I wake up this morning and I have a straggly voice.
Right.
This is what you get. We real artists. We're not perfect.
Right.
Some of us have flaws. We have, we're not perfect, but we're giving you and we're sharing our art with you. Right. So, what was your thoughts? Like, talk about how when you saw that, how life changing was that for you? Because a lot of people don't really talk about. They kind of throw that whole performance and that whole when it was released in the video. Nobody talks about that. Nobody really talks about Lauryn Hill like that. Give me some knowledge about what you feel about her journey over the last 20 years as an artist.
Well, I'm gonna expose myself. So when I first heard the Unplugged, I was like, this is garbage.
Wow.
The very first time I heard it, right?
Yeah.
But the thing of it is, if you're not in a certain space, you will not get it.
You won't receive it.
You won't be able to receive it. So when I heard it, I was like, oh, why would she record that? I was one of those people. Now, 4 years later, I'm like chilling with a girlfriend, talking about life, and she was like, girl, let me tell you about Lauryn, this Lauryn Hill experience. And she was saying how she and her sister drove to Orlando when they did a viewing or something, and so of the Unplugged, and so she bought the DVD, and so I was like, you know what, pop it in, let me see and watch it. And when I tell you when you saw it,
yeah, versus her hearing it, right, yeah.
When I saw it, I sobbed.
Exactly.
The whole time I cried. Like, literally, I can say I had a come to Jesus meeting. Meaning, I was like...
It was a very spiritual experience.
It was a very spiritual experience. But that's when I realized that, when the Bible talks about he who has ears, let him hear. Mm-hmm. So it's all about a season. It's all about... like
when you're receptive.
When you're receptive.
Yeah.
Because I may not be open to it at that time, but 4 years later, I was open to it and it changed my life. So now it is a staple for me, and there are some tracks on there that I'm still like, let me go back and listen to that again, because there's so many layers to it. She says so much. And I think a person like her who, I don't want to get too deep, but I think she sees beyond. She sees beyond,
Yeah.
And sometimes it can make you a little kooky. You need balance. And it can make people think you're so weird, or whatever like that. And it's a lot of times things that I don't say. I see a lot of stuff, but I don't say everything I see. But she was beyond her time.
It's interesting because I listened to it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
It was one of those days where I just wanted to just veg out on the couch and do nothing. And I'm like, what in my collection? Do I watch Black Panther one more time? Oh, let me see. Let me pull out The Color Purple. No, I don't want to do Color Purple. Let me listen to Lauryn Hill.
Yeah.
And I put it on from start to finish, and I feel like that record was sort of prophetic.
Yeah, it was, definitely.
She was giving us an insight without being too political, because I really don't like politics.
Right,
I don't like to go there. But she was giving us a little bit of a foretaste about what was 20 years later. She was way ahead of her time.
Correct. Definitely.
She was.
Mr. Intentional.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. As a man, when I first heard the songs, me being so polarized of being macho and, just understanding women from a perspective, but it was kind of like, for the first time, I was able to understand, like, it sounds kind of corny, but I was able to understand what women go through from a women point of view of how dealing with a man. And it's kind of like, I was like, man, we put women through a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
And you know what's so funny too? Like even with her, I think I heard the reviews about because I heard maybe a few songs, and when they was like, I think Rolling Stones did something, and they said that they was like saying, oh, the performance wasn't all that, and and then in some songs she kind of like started over, she missed a note, and she said she did it over again.
Yeah.
But I think that I listened to the reviews first. And then over time, maybe 3 or 4 years later, I listened to some of the songs, and
and you too became receptive.
Yeah, and man, you're right. She's very prophetic. She was saying things about like society and how we're judged in music, and we need to overcome. We need to educate ourselves. We need to see what's really going on.
Right.
And she was saying that 20 years ago.
Right.
And so when I hear it, I was like, wow, and just and then I think that's when she was very vulnerable to accepting the whole vulnerable, the religion stage, like understanding like, hey, I'm not this perfect,
right.
Yeah,
Christian.
you can't get perfect.
I believe in God. Like I believe, I'm a God, like, and I kind of was like, wow. So yeah, she took me through a lot of emotional roller coaster. And so as a man who don't want to talk about my feelings, who don't want to always hear a woman's side of view, point of view, it was kind of like, man, I need to tighten up. So she gave me correction.
Yeah.
Correction. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, and I receive it after all these years, and it's like, oh man, like you listen with a different set of ears.
Right. Yeah, you do.
You
do.
That's what music's for.
It really is. And I really appreciate being able to talk with you guys about it specifically, though, because I'm like...
Yes. And you know what? It's like, it's almost like you should, you should have a dinner and just say, let's dissect this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How many people have a dinner party surrounded around music and and just say, you know what, let's dissect this music. Let's just listen. Everybody bring a song and let's talk about how that song affects you or how
let's
you
have
feel.
A taste test.
Right. Let's have a taste test. Let's, do that over a meal, over a drink.
So, there's another artist. And you told me about her, but you didn't tell me a lot about her. I kind of want you to repeat what you said about her. Before you do, I just find it really interesting that Blue a couple weeks ago, when he found out what her meant, H.E.R, what does it mean? Having everything revealed.
Wow, I did. Wow,
yeah.
That's
He's still having another wow moment.
You told me that last time.
Yeah, that's what it means.
Her. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Yeah.
Wow, that is. Yeah, I respect her now.
So focus.
So I dig this song a lot. So first of all, I'm gonna say when I first discovered her, I literally hated for a minute. I was mad. I was like, this, because you know how like. Now, artists want it now. I mean, and if there's an artist listening, if you say that you don't, a certain artist, or when you hear people do certain things and you going, dang, they beat me to the punch. Oh, God,
Yeah.
But you're like, and it's the kind of music that makes you, put you on your toes. Like, so for me, I fell in love with the technical side of her, the music, her ability to write, it was just her storytelling. And so the song Focus, I love because, again, it's, it's like for the woman's point of view to say, hey, I know you have stuff you got going on, but give me a little time.
Yeah.
I need that too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of times, it's about communication and, and so I adore this song. And then, when I realized she plays all these instruments and, it made me admire her as an artist even more. So, I dig this song. I dig the message and the artist even more. So.
Okay. So I've always wanted to talk about this. The harps in the song. The harps.
Was it live or was it like keyboard based or software?
It has to be a real harp. It has to be in the song. It's got to be the harp.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
It's the intro and the outro.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Janet Jackson gave her a shout out.
Yeah,
so
I know.
She's a legend now.
Well, but believe it or not,
Right?
because of where she's been, and because of, I think she's the answer to me. For a while I was concerned about the state of R&B.
Right.
You can agree with me.
Right.
Your album is an answer to R&B.
Oh,
you
wow.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like real R&B.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know how to describe it,
yeah.
but you know a real good R&B record, and the fact that she put 2 separate EPs out and let it just be out there for a long time, without even pushing it.
Right.
It became something organic. Then she put everything together and added a few more songs, and people still fell in love with it.
Right.
I didn't like how they rearranged the track listing because I got used to listening to
the
single. Right. And I'm
yeah.
like, but it felt different. But I understand because sometimes, like as an artist, I'm this way, and I'm sure you had. We'll talk about that in a second. But being able to literally do your own track listing, and there's a reason this song goes before this one.
Right.
When you did your album, what was that like for you? Tracking, sequencing that album.
Yeah, it was, it was fun because the poems kind of played to me as an intro or outro to each section. And it just fell into place. It was like, yeah, this should go here. Okay, you should open up with this. You should do it this way. And, it's like, and Mr. Alp executive produced the album with me. Shout out to Mr. Alp.
Shout out to Alp.
Shout out to Al, yeah.
And so I remember us having a little argument about what should go first, and I was like, no, I want to do it this way. But sometimes you have to submit, to input, and it did end up working out perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
But because sometimes I can be a little too sentimental, and but it was great. Yeah, it does flow perfectly.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I love your album. I love it.
Thank you.
And I'm gonna go ahead and say it.
Say it.
I'm gonna put it out in the universe.
Put it out in the universe.
I need everybody that's watching, because we're live. Everybody that's watching, those of you that are in the studio here with me, we need to figure out a way. There's 2 things you have to do. One, you got to vote.
Yes.
Right now, you need to vote so that MJbaker has the opportunity to play AFROPUNK in New York City.
Yes, in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. And that particular AFROPUNK, that's usually it's August, right?
Yes,
it's
August,
next month.
August 25th.
We need you to get online and vote right now. Like, do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
Don't think about it. Just vote, because you've been listening to this interview. You've heard this beautiful creature who is emitting all these pheromones. Go vote for her. And in addition,
send the link.
Send a
so
link.
I can post it on my live.
Yeah, I will definitely do that. I'll make sure you guys have links. I'll repost it on my Instagram and on Taste
thank
Test.
you guys.
Absolutely. Yeah, I want you to experience that.
Yeah.
Because one of my favorite artists, and I'm gonna play her song next.
Mm-hmm.
Leanne Havas.
Oh yeah.
Another artist who, she's beautiful.
Yeah.
Her father is Greek,
Jamaican,
and her mother is Jamaican.
Okay, yeah.
And she is another interesting being that grew up. She grew up to Jill Scott and Lauryn Hill as her Aretha Franklin. Like Aretha Franklin would be to me.
Right.
Jill Scott and Lauryn Hill and Erykah Badu would her. She's young.
Yeah,
but she also learned how to play guitar on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So she played Afropunk, and she played the next song. This one's called Ghost. Welcome back to Taste Test Live. I am Damien Lamar, and we are here with
Blue Franswa
and the lovely MJbaker.
Hello.
There she is. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Thank you for listening, and I'm going to do a quick update. Something happened this week.
Yeah.
Something happened.
A lot has happened.
A lot has happened. Let's take a deep breath for a second. Let's have a woosah moment. Woosah. Breathe in some prana. And exhale. Okay. All right. I don't want to talk about this week. I want to talk about music.
Okay.
Because I almost got caught up. You know, sometimes we can get caught up.
Yeah, we can get caught up.
But music to me, okay, I tell you what, I'm going to talk about music.
Okay.
What I have been listening to this week, I discovered a new artist.
Okay.
His name is Solo Woods.
Oh, nice.
You mentioned that to me.
Solo Woods, man. And you know what? I'm just going to play the song real quick.
Okay.
All right?
Let's play it.
All right, we're going to play it. This is my first faux pas.
Damien Lamar.
I was so entranced.
Thanks, Damien.
Entranced with this woman and her pheromones in this conversation.
Gosh. Yeah, right.
I know. I really, I had a moment. No, we recorded for a few minutes, but there was probably a big gap in this music. You know, the stuff that we were talking about. It's gone. Like,
oh,
yeah.
We gotta start over.
All that information you shared about Drake too.
I know.
Yep, we got it on my live.
We do.
I'll say
so y'all got some exclusive insider stuff right there, right?
Yeah.
That's stuff that's not going to be on the show.
Wow.
All right. So in music, we got to rewind for a minute.
Yes. Okay. In music.
What happened this week? Let's get the happy stuff real quick out of the way real quick. Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber, he just got engaged to Alec Baldwin's daughter, Haley Baldwin.
Oh, yep. Yeah, okay.
Oh, look at him.
So yeah, he's 24 and she's 21. They're close in age.
Real close, yeah.
Congrats to them for their engagement. He's ready to tie the knot.
Hope he start back singing again.
Look at Justin, yeah.
You know, I think sometimes love will make you do that. He may actually come out with some really awesome ballads.
Yeah.
We don't know.
So.
A woman has a way of bringing out something in a man.
Well, and you know, I think too, I think he was on this whirlwind for so long, and I think he felt he lost himself. Mm-hmm. And so I think now he's trying to gather himself back together. And so I'm excited to hear what's going to come from this union. This engagement.
Yeah. We don't know if they're going to get married right away, but they are engaged. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Justin Bieber.
The next thing, the Essence Festival, there was like a gumbo, a pot of artists perform. We had Jill Scott. Guess what? The Roots curated the show between Erykah, Badu, and then, you know, Janet Jackson did her show. It was crazy.
What?
Yes.
This happened and I missed it.
Did Janet dance?
You know what? Yeah, even Brandy was there as well. I mean, it was crazy. I actually looked up the highlight, the headliners, and I think that we missed an awesome show.
We missed it. We missed it. Those of us who didn't have the privilege of going to the Essence Festival. If you did, you know what? Send me an email at music@tastetestradio.com. If you went to the Essence Festival, send an email to music@tastetestradio.com and tell me about your experience. Like, send me a voice memo. I might play it on the air. Yeah. We need something like that here in Jacksonville. We have our jazz festival, but the Essence Festival.
Yes.
It's indigenous to New Orleans.
Wow.
Look at that lineup, boy.
We miss Mary J. Blige. Yeah.
Miguel, Fantasia.
Yeah.
Is that Tiny down there?
How do they do that every year? It's like every year it's a great show.
Yeah, it's a great show. John Legend headlined last year.
Let me tell you, from what I understand, I mean, because Girls Trip was filmed there during the Essence Festival.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's smart.
They filmed it during the festival,
That's smart.
and they actually showed performances that were going on last year.
Right.
They filmed it, and it aired in the movies. It was in the movies like a couple weeks, like right after the festival was over.
Oh, wow.
Amazing. But the amount of the inoculation that the city of New Orleans gets from tourism alone, all the hotels are booked, all the Airbnb books, everything is completely booked. People, they have conferences, they have fashion shows, they do everything at the Essence Festival.
Yeah.
In addition to your food and your after hours experiences, you want to party all night. There's somebody spinning something.
Right.
At 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and there's somebody listening, you know?
Yeah.
Also, too, one thing y'all should both know, and I want everybody to know out there, Essence Festival is one of the greatest opportunity for not just black vendors, but vendors who wants to expose their market and their career. Mm-hmm. And what they do is they set up opportunities to meet with people. Like they did an open forum question, like a dialogue with LMA, asking about how she started.
Wow.
You know, like, so they have like little, they have discussions. They bring in like all the top chefs, you know, black chefs around the world come in and have them do testing of their food and talk about how to eat healthy. And then they also, you know, like a lot of people from Jacksonville was there, showcasing some of their clothes. You know, some of the top hairstylists in our city was there. You know, so it was amazing. It's amazing that what Essence Festival represents, like just bringing our people together and showcasing how good we are.
It's beautiful.
So.
It's beautiful, and it happens. It's a flawless execution year after year.
Yeah.
I mean, I miss it. We're going next year.
Yeah, I'm going next year.
2019,
No,
we're going to go.
Oh, I'm going.
And Badu usually comes every year.
Who?
Erykah Badu.
Yeah.
She usually shows up every year.
Really?
Yeah. So Drake, okay, he claims number 7 of the Hot 100's top 10 and breaks the record.
I think he had 7 songs.
7 of the 7 songs.
Yeah, 7 songs
on the top 10.
Yeah.
And broke the record, broke the Beatles record when that's amazing.
Yeah.
Good for him. Good props. And what was the other news about Drake? Wasn't there some other news?
I think
about the streams. Like
the first artist to get 1 billion streams in the first week.
Wow.
1 billion streams.
1 billion streams in the first week.
Mm-hmm.
That's impressive.
Wow. Yeah.
That's some work.
That is some work.
It's a great album. It's a great. Both of the albums are great. They're sonically, they're produced well. It's you don't get bored. Mm-hmm. You feel like, you know, I can work to it. I can ride to it. You know, like you hear him. I like music that I can understand the lyrics. That's important for me.
Yeah,
I'm a lyricist.
Me too.
You know? So props out to Drake.
Yeah.
So what else happened this week in news?
And also during the Essence Festival, it was a big write up yesterday that Brandy threw shade at Monica, saying that the song was you remember the song the boy is mine.
The boy is mine.
So there's a video clip where she did her own version and would said, and she ended the song where the song is mine.
Oh, that was shade.
Because I think the label let her put they were supposed to put it on both albums with different versions.
They did. It was the same. It was the same song on both. I have both records.
Yeah, I think that, and that was the issue.
Yeah.
I think and what happened was I think Brandy had a different version she wanted to put on her album and it didn't. So she was just talking about that. So live at the Essence Festival, she just kind of twisted around and said
that's been at least 20 years they've been throwing shade back and forth. Brandy and Monica, when y'all gonna squash that now? You know,
I mean, they're not a Sade, but hey.
First of all, if you fighting over a boy and he's seeing both of y'all at the same time, and you like, no, the boy, no, he's mine. No, he's mine. No, I mean, like, he's MJ.
I'm a Brandy fan.
I am too.
I think she's the best singer.
I do too. That's why you're here, because we feel a lot about the same artist. That's why you're here. But
Brandy's better than Monica.
Should they have even had a song called "The Boy Is Mine"? Should they be fighting over this dude? Like, really?
Well, first, I think the song was just a fun song back then. You know what I mean? And now, you know, I just think they're two phenomenal artists, and I think they're too old. You know what I mean?
Cut all that out.
Come out with some new music. Let's hear some new stuff.
Well, Brandy's in the studio.
Is she?
She's working. She's in the studio. I saw Daniel Caesar. She's working with Daniel Caesar. She's working with several different producers right now.
She need to be teaching these young girls how to sing for real. They need to know. They need to know.
Yeah. Those runs, though, I'm still since 1993, I'm still trying to run like Brandy.
Listen, let me tell you something. People, you know, and no shade to Beyonce, because, you know, she's worked hard for everything. But when these young people hear Brandy, execute, it's going to be like, what? Who is that?
And she does it so effortlessly, too.
Oh, my gosh, yes. She
but
does.
You know what? I heard that Brandy used to get her runs from Ray J. Like, Ray J used to teach her those runs.
Really?
That's what I heard.
Really?
I don't know where I heard that, and I don't know if that's true. But
It could
Ray
be
J,
possible,
Ray J
but
can
Brandy
sing
Tone is-
too.
yeah.
He can sing.
I think he may have lost it. Oh, just
Now,
being confused and lost.
Nah, he can still sing.
You think so?
Yeah. Ray J holding out. Ray J's got a baby right now.
Yeah.
A beautiful baby, new marriage.
Yeah.
Props to Ray J. Yep. So
Ray J can't sing. Okay, I'm with you.
Tamar Braxton though.
Oh yeah, again, Tamar Braxton. She fired her band that was from Jacksonville, and everybody know. I think some of them are following me now, but they had a show, I guess, in Philly, and then they were supposed to be also down in where Essence Festival is in New Orleans, and she took it to Instagram and just started, I think she told the crowd that she fired them, and it was like a big back and forth stuff. And so the Shade Room posted it, and then it continued to be messy. And she took shots out. She even said something about if this was Beyonce, you wouldn't have done that. It was just crazy stuff. Took shots at Fantasia, saying, "Hey, your band's messy." And then Tank came back on and was like, "Hey, these guys are professional. If you're looking for your band, I got them." It was a big video. Y'all should go check it out. I'm gonna share it with y'all. But it was funny.
So it's like there's good publicity and bad publicity.
Yeah.
Right.
And I feel like those boys gonna be all right.
Yeah.
I mean, they're gonna get more exposure than they got the first time around. Like most people didn't know who they were.
Yeah.
So everything works out.
Really,
it all works out. Mm-hmm. So I have another song I want to share.
Okay.
I do.
Who's the artist?
I don't even know how to break this down.
Set it up for us.
Okay, I'm going back to 2016. Okay. 2016. It's an electronic album. On Taste Test, I don't just play all R&B. I don't just play. I play a little bit of everything because I believe urban is a very broad definition. Urban does not necessarily mean black.
Right.
It doesn't. So if you think urban means black, think again. But Dawn Richard, that was in Danny DeCane.
Oh yeah.
Remember she was in P. Diddy's project.
Oh yeah.
She was wrong.
Okay.
She was wrong.
So she released a wonderful, really, really great album by the name of Redemption. And it was a deluxe edition that came out back in 2016. And 17 songs. Like she gave you a good old solid hour of her electronic style, but it shows her vocal ability. It shows her as a songwriter. One thing I like about it is it's clean. It's clean, and
clean
she goes
as in
in.
what?
Like it's not explicit. You can listen to the whole album. You can play it for your kid.
Okay.
It's not an explicit record. And there's also a song that you have. Those of you who like Dawn Richard, you want to go watch Renegades. Go watch the video Renegades.
Okay.
But that's not the song I want to play. I want to play a song called Black Crimes.
Okay.
Here is Black Crimes on Taste Test. I'm gonna stop talking about it so you can hear it right now. I'm gonna play a little bit of the song on the show. This part I'm gonna edit out.
Love crimes, high cost, we're doing time, we're sentenced to life. Love crimes, high cost, and we're doing time. When you've lost and you've lied, you're sentenced to life.
All right.
What happened to her?
She's still around.
I hope so.
She's still around. She's doing some cool things. She's still relevant. She still has a phenomenal audience in Europe that just literally eats her up.
I'm sure.
Especially with the type of music that she's performing. So, what did you think of the song?
Oh, I adore it. I love it.
Yeah.
Different for her.
It's definitely
Yeah.
different. But the same. And it's different than your Danity Kane stuff.
Right, yeah.
Right? She was part of a group, so she had to do that group thing.
Right.
And then when she was under the direction of P. Diddy, what was the name of the group?
Danity Kane.
Was it Danity Kane?
Yeah,
The
it
P.
was
Diddy
Danity-
group was called Danity Kane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
But
was
no,
the group, 'cause
what
they
about
had the
her
show.
and the other girl? They were. It was,
Yeah, he brought them. I think he brought her back.
It was just two girls. It was Don Richard, and another girl.
Oh yeah, I don't know what they were called. I know who you're talking about, but that
Because he
didn't
did
work
some.
out.
He did some music with them too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm reaching back because I feel like I slept on her.
Yeah.
I really do. And sometimes, like we talk about being receptive earlier to an
Right.
artist, I apparently wasn't receptive to Don Richard or anything she was
Dirty
putting
Money.
out.
It was called Dirty Money.
Diddy Dirty Money. That's it.
Yep.
That's
Oh,
the
Dirty
name.
yeah.
Diddy Dirty Money. So he took, who were the name of the artists?
It was Kalena Harper. He was actually in it,
Yes.
and it was Don Richard.
And Don
Right.
Richard. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was sort of like a Danity Kane spinoff.
Right.
And you saw a lot of the stuff that was on TV. They televised a lot of that stuff and how Didi would make people go to the store to get ice cream and,
Right.
walk 3 miles to go get some ice cream and stuff like that. But yeah, so this has been fruitful.
Yes, it has.
I'm really great. I'm grateful that you stopped by to share your time and your pheromones
Thank you guys so much for
with
having
us.
me. This has been fun.
This has been fun. So take a moment and tell people out there that are listening to the show, tell people how they can find you and your music.
You can find me on Instagram at MJbaker Music, same Twitter. Also, I am on Facebook, MJbaker Music page. And you can definitely find the music, iTunes, Apple Music, YouTube, Spotify, CD Baby, stream away.
Yeah. So
Stream away.
CD Baby, are actual physical copies available?
Yes, and
I need one. I need one
offer
for my
physical copies, yes.
for artists that have like monumental records that move me and change my life and make me feel some way about music. Like I told
wow.
you're part of the R&B story. Like you are now a part of the story.
Well, thank you.
I need a copy.
Okay.
I can do Cash App. I can pay you.
Yeah.
Any way you need cash.
Okay.
However, send you some money.
Okay.
And I need an autograph copy.
Okay.
Okay.
I can do that.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. So you've been listening to Taste Test Live here with Blue Franswa. I'm Damien Lamar, your host. Thank you so much for being here, Miss MJbaker. Feel Something. Do go out and get her record. We want to say goodbye for another week. We'll be back. Tune in on Sunday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern and Tuesday nights for an encore show. So, if you missed the show in the past, you'll have a chance to hear it. It'll come back around on Tuesday night. So do listen to Taste Test on WJCT 89.9 FM, where you can actually hear this song, a few songs that MJ brought, as well as the exclusive interview, which is actually on Taste Test Live everywhere where you can find podcasts. So again, this has been Taste Test Live. Thank you guys for tuning in and have a taste.